I'm not trying to do what Charlamagne did. I'm not trying to gaslight. When I say Jay-Z isn't on Drake's radar, yes, he had lines like Jig is up or whatever. But he's not really really shooting at Jay. Like he's not like, oh, I gotta go compete with Jay. Jay, I keep telling you, made his billions outside of music. Drake is trying to get. And by the way, I heard some stuff, but I think that the OVO chain prevents me from saying it. But he's trying to get what Jay-Z couldn't have even imagined, right? And by the way, if it gets done, he might be rich and Jay. But this is a different conversation. Anyway, what he's trying to get from the labels is Jay-Z is not a blueprint for. No disrespect to Jay-Z. Jay-Z's never been in that position. So this idea that he's on Drake's radar, like, yeah, Drake's dropping a few lines. I'm not going to lie, but he's not like focused on this guy who I think this run is going to be Jay-Z trying to clean his reputation and trying to shoot back at some of these other people. Except, I don't...
Yo, so Akademiks low-key just leaked that Drake pretty much signed a $1 billion contract to basically stay signed to a major. And listen, man, you know, Drake is 39. You feel me? Jay-Z became a billionaire when he was 49. You know what I'm saying? I think Jay-Z's like 56 now, you feel me? So it's funny how Jay-Z like tried to like little boy Drake, you know, basically talking about, yeah, you may have passed me as the most #1 rap albums, but you know, I'm a billionaire, you know what I'm saying? And you're not. And it's like, how does Jay-Z know that Drake's not a billionaire already? You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think of all the albums he sold, all the records he sold, you feel me? Like, if you think Drake's not close to being a billionaire, you're delusional. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because somebody's net worth says 300 million, that doesn't mean that it is what it is, right? But if Drake does become a billionaire after he signs his next deal, he might be the first, like, rapper or artist to ever become a billionaire strictly off of their music at his age, bro. Because think about it, right? Michael Jackson, he's probably the most popular artist of all time, right? Like, Michael Jackson, he's goated, right? Michael Jackson, when he was alive, he wasn't a billionaire, right? Maybe if he didn't have all of those allegations tied to his name, because he had to spend a lot of money on lawyers and stuff like that. Because remember, at one point, Michael Jackson owned the Beatles catalog. You know, he owned like part of Sony. You feel me? So I'm pretty sure if Michael Jackson didn't have all of those nasty allegations from Neverland tied to his name, he probably most definitely would have been a billionaire while he was still alive. You know what I'm saying? But like Akademiks said, Jay-Z, he didn't become a billionaire off of music. He became a billionaire off of his investments outside of music. You know, alcohol. You know, he had Tidal. You know, Jay-Z's made a lot of smart investments, and I give a lot of credit to him for that. But you know, if Drake becomes a billionaire solely off of music, like record deal contracts, bruh, that's legendary. Because, yeah, Jay-Z could say, oh, I own my masters, but hey, bruh, if a man's made $1 billion off of his music and he don't own all of his catalog, that's still some legendary shit, especially if he becomes a billionaire at an earlier age than you did. You know what I'm saying? I would look at that as Drake passing Jay-Z, bro.
Worried about Jay. He's a non-factor for what they want to do. Nicki Minaj. I don't think I do think Nicki got some problems with Jay, but I don't think if Nicki's about to drop an album or whatever Nicki's like next 18 or 24 months is going to look like, Jay is the focus of that. I don't think most people, other than Dame Dash, who sits on, you know, these podcasts and he talks about him pretty frequently, I don't think they're focused on Jay like that. And Jay might not be focused on them like that, but I do think this time around, Jay has to be focused on them because, listen, when he just talked about Target, nobody cared. So if it's not Jay addressing artists, Jay's just been in the game for too long. Yes, we'll celebrate your old album, but what are you talking about? Unless you're going to tell us you cheated on Beyonce one more time, right? Like, you're trying to deflate from Roc Nation, though.
No, I'm not.
They're the invisible opponent. This is why, even as of recent, I'm like, Charlamagne, nobody really is trying to even talk about you. Just get out the way. Let Desiree and Jay-Z sit. They are the people.
See, this is where I got to disagree with Akademiks, right? Like, because you're trying to make it seem like Jay-Z is clout chasing off of Drake and Nicki Minaj. Like, think about this, chat. Why would a billionaire, because Jay-Z's worth like close to $3 billion. Why would a billionaire be clout chasing Drake and Nicki Minaj? The reason why he responded, because it was a response, right? Nicki Minaj was dissing Jay-Z on Twitter for months straight. You feel me? Like, that's why he responded. Like, she was talking about, you know, Jay-Z basically saying that behind the scenes that he's doing snake shit, right? Drake, he dissed Jay-Z multiple times on Iceman. Like Janet Shut the Fuck Up, which is the #1 song in the country that had Drake pass Michael Jackson for the most #1 songs on the Hot 100 Billboard charts. He's dissing Jay-Z on that song. You know what I'm saying? He's dissing Jay-Z on Whisper My Name. And I think there's another song he's dissing Jay-Z. So Jay-Z's not wrong for responding to Drake and Nicki Minaj. He's not wrong at all. But to say that Drake and Nicki Minaj shouldn't respond to him, that doesn't make any sense, because if you didn't want Jay-Z to respond to you, then why did you diss him in the first place? Because at the end of the day, bro, Jay-Z's still a rapper. He's an MC. He may be a businessman. He may have became a billionaire outside of, his music career. But he's still a rapper at the end of the day, bro. Like, his pen is still sharp as far as I'm concerned. Now, the freestyles wasn't good, though, to me, right? I don't think the freestyles was fire. I think the freestyles were mid. I think the most recent freestyle at Yankee Stadium, I think that shit was just straight up trash, because he's just talking about a bunch of shit nobody cares about. He's talking about Target and, but this is owned by that. So he basically was trying to call people hypocrites for saying that he sold out because, Target got rid of the Target was doing something where they was doing some type of like black empowerment stuff. They got rid of it, right? And Jay-Z is basically saying that the people that's calling him out are using YouTube and this and that that's owned by this and that. Whole bunch of bullshit, right? So at the end of the day, bro, you can't say Jay-Z is wrong for responding to Drake and Nicki Minaj. He actually did the right thing. I just think the freestyles didn't go how he thought it was gonna go. Now, what Jay-Z should do is Jay-Z should go to the studio and respond to Drake and Nicki Minaj and Kanye and Dame Dash. Respond to him on a song. Bar them up. If Jay-Z could drop a diss track at 56 years old in 2026 and it actually sounds good and it's received very well, that's dope. But the days of spitting a freestyle and responding to people during a live freestyle, that shit, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like think about it, right? Who do you know that's doing live freestyles dissing somebody and it goes viral like that? Now, Jay-Z's freestyles did go viral, right? But people were talking more about his hair than the actual raps. People were trying to figure out how the fuck did he turn his dreads into a big ass afro. You know what I'm saying? Then the most recent freestyle, he cuts off the afro. He goes back to the low cut, right? And he's talking about Colin Kaepernick. He's talking about the Target situation. He's talking about how Meta owns this. Nobody gives a fuck, bro. Me personally, chat, I want to hear a Jay-Z album. I want to hear, what does a Jay-Z album sound like at age 56 in 2026? Because I don't know nobody in real life that's listening to Jay-Z in 2026, bro. When I go to the club, I don't hear no DJ playing Jay-Z. When I'm listening to the radio, the only time I hear a Jay-Z song is when they're playing Empire State of Mind with Alicia Keys. By the way, that's Jay-Z's only #1 single of his entire career on the Hot 100 Billboard charts. So the reality of the situation is, bruh, is at this point, Jay-Z needs to drop an album. I'm expecting a Kendrick Lamar feature on that album where Jay-Z and Kendrick are going to be taking shots at Drake. I think that's almost guaranteed. And I'm expecting Pusha T to also be on Jay-Z's album where they're taking shots at Drake. Because remember, Drake just Jay-Z about 3 or 4 times. Do we really think Jay-Z's not going to respond? Of course he's going to respond, bro. He had Kendrick Lamar headline the Super Bowl. That's why Drake dissed him in the first place. Jay-Z and Drake got so many songs together. Last time I checked, Jay-Z and Kendrick only have one song together, and that's the Swimming Pools remix. Most people don't even know. I didn't even know Jay-Z was on the Swimming Pools remix. Somebody in my comment section had to tell me, and I had to look it up, and I was like, wow. But Drake and Jay-Z, for them to have so many songs together, and you're picking Kendrick, who has the #1 song calling Drake a pedophile, and you pick him to headline the Super Bowl when it was supposed to be Lil Wayne because it was in New Orleans, that's why Drake crashed out. You feel me? So, listen, bro. Nicki Minaj, she's the greatest female rapper of all time. I don't think that's even a debate. Whenever Nicki Minaj puts a new album out, she got to respond to Jay-Z, bro. If not, she's ducking smoke. If Drake don't respond to Jay-Z on his next album, he's ducking smoke. Academics saying that they don't have to respond, I think that's some weak ass shit. But salute the act, man. It's your boy Days. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video. Click that hype button for your boy. I'm out.